fuck is they talking about though? You're big MRM WRW Mafia.
Dark side.
Come
Light
by
this
with the
bitch up.
tribe. Kirby, what up though? I'm breaking it down, ground. I'm working my way up. You a way stuck, get your weight up. You're looking for pay, cuz I want all of my people to wake up. Sleep, Frank Ocean, dig, peak. This knowledge is meant for the weak. Fools, choose. I'm making a break of the rules. Fools, choose. It's the hammer, I'm busting the moves. I wake up like this, blessed. Everything else just a test. Stress was created for thinking the less. I'm with the gods, yes. Fact, me and Kirby finessing the beat. 10 toes, MRM we reppin' the street. I am the chief, this is the tribe. I need the different electrical side. Come get you a vibe. This is my land, is my only reply.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, G, what up? Yeah. Bag in my bag, no book for the papers. Ain't got time for my bitch, cause I'm running up the papers. Just like that Zai, I keep the flavors. From the lows to the highs, make my niggas elevating. Say you got motion, but you niggas just talk. Big dog in the yard, and you bitches just balk. Look me in my eyes, say it with your chest when you talk. Boys do what they can, and men do what they want. Break that shit down, half O's to the pounds. Put my thoughts to action, Jackson's niggas like the stunt a different fabric. Magic happen, pulling rabbits out of hat. Trick you out to life, Houdini, Lord Janie couldn't bring it back. Niggas be capping, say whatever when they rapping. Tell your life story, and what really fucking happened. I can see clearly now that the rain is gone. Actions to my words, you can see me here when they play my song. Forever do the man. And Ladybug, yeah, love is love. Loyal to my children, family first, and putting my heart in every verse.
Yo. What's the vibes, tribes? This is I Can't Make This Shit Up podcast with myself, BigChief, not the little one, G the Starflower, melanated god of love, my goddess, Aquarius goddess, and my sister, Crazy Tree Lady. Y'all know the vibe. And my goddess is in the building, you know, she's here, physically here, you know. But y'all know it. It's OGTalk. This is where you sit back, relax, kick your motherfucking feet up, and listen to a OG talk. Fuck is you talking about, man? My topic for tonight. And shout out to my brother, man, for inspiring me to do this topic tonight, man. Shit. I swear I'm so bad with names, and I mean that. I put that on everything I love. I am so bad with names. It's like unless it's somebody that I'm really communicating with consistently every day, you feel me? Like I promise you, I be bad with names. That's on everything I love, man. But my brother know who he is and shit, bro. That's why I be wanting to have my two phones so I can jump on another phone and really catch people's names. Be like, okay, you know. But my apologies for that, you know. But my brother, he definitely inspired me to do this topic tonight, even though it's something that I've been through out there into the universe. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of I live life based off of what makes sense to me. You know, like I say, my topic for tonight is. It's a reaction to there is no right or wrong, you know? That's the world that I live in. That's the real world, not this programmed ass shit that people are choosing to live. You know, I'm not a part of that. There's a reaction to every action. You never know what that reaction may be. And it doesn't matter if it's someone who you think you know. Somebody who you be around consistently and y'all joke with and whatever with, you know what I'm saying? You never know what somebody may be going through, and you might just say something at the wrong time, you know. It's multiple ways that we can break this down, you know, but I really want to focus on one, and that's people who choose to judge people based off of their actions, not understanding the reasons behind those actions. That's what I really want to speak on, because it's a lot of that going on within our community of people. I mean, I'm 10 toes down for the build. You know, I got the bricks, I got the cement, I got the tool bag, I got the trucks, I got everything that's needed, man. Bulldozers, I got all types of shit. Everything that's needed to build over here, I come prepared. I'm bringing a table to the table. I promise y'all that. I say that to say this. I'm 10 toes down to build with the communities and, you know, like minded, the collective, you know, all of that. I am 10 toes with 10 extra feet down for that. But that's not going to happen until we fix the mindsets of those people. So that's what a lot of my brothers and my sisters need to understand when it comes to being spiritually woke. You know, all of that shit sounds good, but is it good? We can make it good, but they gotta want that. You know, it can't be forced. Like, you know, this waking up, this being spiritually woke shit, it can't be forced on someone. You know, that shit they have to want that, or it actually has to come directly to them. You know, it has to be a situation. You know, that opened their eyes into reality for real. You know, that's how that go right there. You know, but in order for us to do that, you know, everyone has to be on the same page. And, you know, um, it's a lot of us that's in the same book, right? And I was saying this at my the last job I was working at, right? You know, everybody can be in the same book, but never on the same page, you know, and that's what we're trying to get to. Being on the same page. Fuck the fact that we all are in the same book. We know this. Woo hoo hoo. Let's get on the same page. How about that? You know, everybody got to understand their positions and know their roles and play their parts and things like that. Y'all hear me speak on that. But, you know, the reactions though from every action, you know, and I've experienced these situations multiple times. I said 7 years ago now, 7 years ago when I was first on my spiritual awakening, I said this on my live. I said, I'm willing to accept all labels because I knew once I started pushing it how I was pushing it, people were going to throw a lot of labels on me based off of that, you know? So in the beginning, I said, I'm willing to accept all labels, meaning, you know, I'm pushing my truths out here. And my truths are based off of the life that I chose to live, my journey. You know, me understanding everything that happened from the beginning on up to now. You know, that's my truth. I'm still creating this story. This story has not ended. You know, my truths are just based off of the beginning of this story. You know what I'm saying? For as much as I can remember, anyway. You know, righting your wrongs and things like that. You know, I could tell you this about, you know, waking the fuck up if y'all need that, you know. And I ain't charging nobody for none of this information. It comes from within. You know, I tweak off the people that claim that they love their people, but yet they're charging people for free information. That's crazy to me. No disrespect to anyone personally, because I've been saying this for years, so it has nothing to do with anyone personally. You know, there's a few people that was, you know, presenting that out here into the universe. It's just me personally, I wouldn't take that route, you know. But I get it, you know, for those who choose to take that route. I'm not, you know, knocking you at all, but I'm for the people, you know. And that's why I do these type of topics, because I have a clear understanding of where we're going wrong as the collective, as melanated men and women. I have a clear understanding what's wrong. We are the problem. We are definitely the problem. And it's the mindsets that people choose to carry out here, you know? And a lot of people have become comfortable with being that way. That it became normal. That's not normal. It's not normal at all. You want this beat? It's not normal at all, you know. But it's multiple situations, right? That I've been in. Like I said, you know, when it comes to this topic that I'm speaking on tonight, and I've always been labeled the bad guy in every situation, you know. But I started realizing it's like, all right, you barked at me, but because I barked a little bit louder than you, now I'm the problem. I'm the bad guy. You're the victim here, but you created this. You initiated this situation. You threw the fuel on the fire. You did it all. You did it all. Cause I'm speaking for as me personally, y'all. You know, cause I'm not the type to just go off soon as a situation is going on. Like, you know, say it's an argument between me and my girl, whatever, even though we don't have those, but let's hypothetically speak and let's say that that's what it is. You know, I'm not quick to just go off straight off. You know, I'll let my woman argue, blah 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 blah. Now it might be something or a certain word or certain words or whatever that may trigger you. It is always a trigger. Don't get it twisted. I don't give a fuck how peaceful of a mindset you claim that you have. There's always something that can trigger you, you know? And there's people out here that will reach for that, you know? Especially when they feel as though you're someone that they can't get through to. Oh, when it comes to those trolls and shit like that, yeah, that's their job. Their job, a troll's job is to get under your skin. And if you don't allow them to get under your skin, you kill it. You know, I was labeled the troll killer at one point in time in my life. Because once I realized what a troll's job was, I'm like, oh, all right, I ain't going to be no weak ass nigga and fall victim to this shit. I'm going to play their game. And I'm going to kill them with what they do. You know? So that's what I started doing. You know, when the trolls used to come on my lives or be in the comments or whatever, man, I'll be killing their ass. You know, now I'm hitting them with the shit that y'all would hit us with. You know, I'm going to do your job better than you. You know, and I killed it every time. Then they started respecting me and shit. It was all love, you know, and then it's just like, you know, it is what it is. I embraced them. They knew where I was coming at with it. You know, when they pulled up to my live, it wasn't no more the trolling shit. They respected that. I respected them for who they are. If I get on other lives and they on there and they trolling, hey, that's somebody else shit. It ain't too much I can do. Now it's just a comedian, a comedy show to me now. You know what I'm saying? But that's all a part of my growth as well. Damn, man, I wish I can't remember my brother's name on IG, and I'm mad about that, man. But he know who he is, man. Shout out to my bro, man, because like I said, I was tapping in with a couple of his stories and his posts on Instagram, and that's what lit up that light bulb in my head and shit. First, I reached out to him like, bro, when you available to go live, man? We gotta go live or something, right? Because when I get that energy, right, I'll be ready to go right then and there. Why do y'all think it took me so long? I supposed to did this show 2 days ago? Why do y'all think it took me so long to do it? Because I really be having to get into that mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't just talk just to be talking, you know? I speak to be felt. My words are to be felt, not just heard. You hear me? And, that's why my messages go through to the universe. But, I really be having to be in that mode, to give off this type of energy. So, and if I feel as though I'm not in that mode, I'm gonna fall back, my apologies to everybody that may have been waiting, whatever the case may be. But I'm just giving y'all my truth right now. I have to be in that mood in order to deliver these messages, But as I was saying, I have a clear understanding of what's needed when it comes to our people. Fuck all that waking up shit and this, that, and the other and us big man. Listen, man, we gotta change these mindsets. And I'm not even speaking just for the young generation, it's some of the older generation, the generation before me, that's still lost out here, that still needs an understanding of certain things in life. So it ain't just about the young generation, y'all. I see more of the young brothers and the young sisters that's woke than I do the older ones. So it's like, what are we doing here? Like, it's like the roles have changed. Same way the roles have changed when it comes to men and women. How you see a lot of women out here trying to conduct themselves as men, playing these tough roles. You got these women rappers out here that be on drill time and all of that shit. What? Like, what the fuck going on, bro? And I don't even blame them. I blame you weak ass niggas for allowing that shit. Because if y'all would have put y'all foot down and grabbed y'all nuts, it wouldn't have been none of that. If y'all would have continued to play y'all roles as a fucking man, it wouldn't have been none of that. You bitch ass, weak ass niggas. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, all right. And I stand on that. So, I don't point the fingers directly at the goddesses because, like I said, man, I've sat back and I've observed a lot of when it comes to this life shit, and it's really us, you know. Like they create these situations, but we take and run with it. We shine more light on these situations, and that's when it becomes a problem. Because this ignorant, all types of so-called races of people, y'all do know this, right? There are more ignorant white people than there are black people. I put that on everything I love. There are more ignorant of them than there are us, even though they are us. We are, I mean, without us, there's no one, Let me just throw that out there. Let me just make that very clear. Yeah. We are the aboriginals, the original people of this land, point blank, period. But, you know, like I was saying, man, not to jump off topic, there's a reaction to every action, you know. Shit, man. You swing, you hit a motherfucker, they gonna swing and hit back. Like, even if you jump at a person, cause this happened to me before. Real shit. And I ain't gonna lie, it was a a boy that looked at himself as a girl. I'm gonna just say that. I don't wanna be disrespectful. I ain't disrespecting that community or whatever the case may be. It was one of those guys, my brother. It was a brother, but who thought he was a sister. But anyway, we all drunk out that bitch, man, wilding one night, teenagers shit. And I ran down on him, right? And I jumped. Like, I wasn't even going to hit him. I'm not going to lie. I was just trying to scare him and shit. But when I jumped at him, his reaction to me jumping at him like I was going to swing was the swing. And I had to catch that. Boom! I'm talking about straight bust my shit. Bust the shit out my shit, man. Like, I'm out that bitch leaking. I'm laughing, though, because it's like, damn, that shit funny as shit. Like, I can't even get mad, because that was a reaction from my actions. I caused that. So I had to accept that for what it is, Of course, my homeboys laughing. You got punched by a fag, you up. No disrespect, but that was their words. At that time, that was my words as well, but no longer. But I got cracked on, I got joked on about it and everything, man. That shit was funny as hell, but I had to accept that. Like I said, that was a reaction from my actions. The same with a lot of other situations. Even when it comes to my relationship, at one point in time, if my goddess was to get mad about something, like you gotta learn to learn, you have to learn how to learn the people that you're around, especially your significant other. You gotta learn those ways, it's all about accepting that for what it is, the good and the bad. So it's like, at one point in time, I used to feed into a lot of shit, or I get mad, or I give some energy towards it when really, that's just who she is, accept it for what it is, bop, bop, bop. But, instead of me doing that, I would give negative energy towards that negative energy. And it would do nothing but create negative energy every time. So, Once I started waking up and realizing, that I was the problem, I started changing myself. I started changing my actions and the way that I choose to go about certain situations and people that I'm around, all of that. Like I literally made the changes within self. That's why I said the other day on my brother's live and shit, you know, everything starts with self, like, we can speak about whatever, we can speak some powerful shit about whatever's going on out here within this world and what we can do, need to do, or whatever. But if a motherfucker not putting the work within self, change those changes within self, breaking those chains, breaking those cycles, understanding these missions within, like we got a mission to accomplish within this world, but you got a mission to accomplish within self as well. Don't forget that part. You hear me? Hmm? So, and like I told my brothers the other day on the live, I'm still working on me. I'm still doing the work, y'all. So it's like when I speak, I'm not speaking as if I'm bigger or better than any last one of y'all. I'm just a bigger and better me. A bigger and better version of me. That's it. I'm more powerful. I'm big powerful. You hear me? Big energy. You hear me? Shout out to my sisters and my brothers. That's what they call me on SoundCloud. Big energy. They said we're gonna change your name, Chief. You big energy. You know? Cause it's like, again, certain shit just don't change. I'm not fabricating anything over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is really who I am. Even before my spiritual awakening and when I was still entertaining the program world, it was still this same energy, just on different type of timing. That's why I said I've learned to embrace both sides, the dark and the light. You know what I'm saying? I know who deserves that energy and who doesn't, you know? Find that balance. Work on that, because you ain't even you until you create that. Let me throw that out there. Until you able to create that balance, you're not even you because you're just delivering one side consistently, daily. That other side might kick in a little bit, but for the most part, a lot of y'all just delivering that dark side. Let's be honest here. A lot of y'all are, you know, and smart as hell, very intelligent, have a clear understanding of a lot of shit out here. Especially if you're someone that's connected to me, because I be delivering this shit consistently, daily, throwing it right in front of everyone's face. You hear me? I understand my mission. I'm playing my part. I know my role. Fuck is you talking about? Figure out yours. And we ain't no kids, man. I ain't out here connecting with a bunch of the star seeds and shit, even though I'm connected with a bunch of the star seeds and shit. But like I said, the crazy thing is a lot of them got it. Like they know they mission. They on their shit right now. You hear me? It's you older brothers and sisters who don't. You know? And it's like, God damn, how long do a motherfucker need to hold hands? And don't get it twisted. Don't it's certain people's hands I'm gonna continue to hold and walk with them. And that's my goddesses and my no, not goddesses. My apologies, my goddess and my star seeds. You know what I'm saying? I will continue to do that. That's the energy. I'm willing to put that energy into that. And I don't mind saying that. You know? Because you got a lot of gods and goddesses out here that speak type of ways as if they never gonna do this, never gonna do that. I'm never gonna say what I'm never gonna do. Cause that would be a lie. A motherfucker would say they never gonna do something and turn right around and do the shit they said they never gonna do. So we're not gonna use those type of words over here. You know what I'm saying? But like I have to break down a lot of situations that I've been through because like I said, when I speak, it's based off of experiences. So my topics, it be based off of that. So it's like, of course, if I'm giving out some type of energy, I gotta speak about my own experiences. That way it's gonna make more sense to other people. I speak for it to be felt, not just heard, y'all. So it's like, when it comes to reactions from the actions, I've had a lot of those situations, man. That was one of the funniest ones though that I just named. And that was like the first time I've experienced a reaction like that. As far as on some street shit. You know what I'm saying? I swung that motherfucker reaction with the swing right back. And I just jumped. I was not gonna punch the guy. I promise y'all. I was not gonna punch this dude because already we knew he was a, you know what I'm saying? But we got into it with his peoples, and it was just one big thing. And I ran down there like I was gonna, and when I jumped, that motherfucker turned around, boom, caught me. I'm talking about bust my shit wide open. I'm on the corner leaking. You hear me? But that was the reaction from my actions. You hear me? So it's like, we got to stop pointing the fingers. We got to stop judging people, especially if you don't know the situation as a whole. If you don't know full details of a situation, if somebody just calls you and say, yeah, such and such just did dot, 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 blah, and you just run with that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even speak to such and such. You and such friends too. Like, these are the type of situations that we be experiencing in this life that we live in, though, y'all. It'll be people that we know, they know both sides. This auntie, this aunt, this whoever, they know both sides, right? But we still run with that person is saying over the phone. And know what type of person you is. Probably know you wouldn't be with none of that goofy ass shit. But they would run with that. Crazy. So, when you run into this person that has been lying on you or whatever, and y'all face to face now, and this person still yap, and then they get the reaction from you. Now, you the bad guy? This motherfucker been talking shit for how long on social media? In my DMs, doing this, making fake pages, all types of shit, man. Now I just seen this motherfucker face to face, and I knocked him the fuck out. Now I'm the problem because how I react to those actions, like what? And I accepted that for so long. Whoa. I like being the bad guy. I said this 7 years ago. Like I was saying in the beginning of this live, I'm willing to accept all evils. I said that 7 years ago. If you want to make me the bad guy, I'm the bad guy. Fuck is you talking about? I'm not gonna argue back and forth with you about this. Y'all create these problems. Y'all create these situations. Then when a motherfucker put a little bit more energy into that shit than what you did, that's the problem. Cause I'm a beast. You hear me? When I release that shit, it gets dangerous. For real. That's why it took a long time for me to be able to control that balance in between both. You hear me? Like, I really be on that. It ain't no jokes over here. So for me to get to that point, it's like that's some growth. That's some very powerful shit. And it's growth. You know? So, but still, even to this day, even me reaching that level of self and having those understandings and being able to control that and balance things out, there still will be situations where I might want to give that energy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what I'm not going to do. Like I just said, I will never say what I'm never going to do. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know. Fuck is you talking about? You never know which type of situations you may be in where you may have to do that. So we're not going to speak that way, So I'm never going to say what I'll never do. But, I will say this. I've grown so much to the point where I've learned how to block a lot of shit out. Like a lot, it could be like right in front of me, like literally right here, like this. And I was like, it's like I create a world within the world and block shit out, like as if you're not even there. Like that's some real powerful shit. And I'm not lying to y'all. I really do this, and it's me protecting my energy. That's when I started practicing doing that. When I was practicing protecting my energy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, I feed into shit real quick. I gotta learn how to stop doing that. You know what I'm saying? And once I kept telling myself that I was gonna do it and speaking it, and it was done. I don't know, man. Like I was telling the bros the other day, shit. Like a lot of work that I hear other gods and goddesses speaking on which needs to be done within the people. I'll be like, damn. When I be hearing it, it's like, damn, I was doing that the whole time and didn't even know it. So it's like it's a lot of shit that I've been doing spiritually, doing the work without even knowing I was doing the work, you know? But that's how you know. And I don't like to use those words, labels that people put on them in the spiritual world, as far as being a chosen one. You know what I'm saying? I know who I am. You know, those who know. Because the way a person pushes it out here. When you see how a nigga coming. A motherfucker pushing it the way they pushing it, then you know. You know. Then you got some people that's just doing it for the paper money, the monopoly money. Shout out to Chief Zero. You got some people that's just doing it for that, but then you got some people that's doing it and they real passionate about what they're doing. You know, it's a lot of us out here. We just overlooked, which I'm cool with being overlooked. I like to be the little guy with a big voice. Don't let that go over your head. I've been saying that for the last 8, 10 years. I'd rather be the little guy with the big voice, because the numbers is what causes more light to be shined on you. Don't let that go over your head. I don't want that. I'm cool with being in the position that I'm in. All I need to do is plant one or two. You know, if I can do that every goddamn time I use my voice, I won. I made it. I did my job. I completed my mission. If I could plant one or two seeds every time I choose to use my voice, I'm cool. I'm cool with that. And I don't give a fuck if I can do that every 30 days, 60 days, As long as the work is being done, that's all that matters, you know? So me speaking on these type of topics, that's the work being done, because this is truth, beyond truth. You hear me? Like, you cannot get mad at someone about anything, especially when you cause that to happen. If you are a part of the problem, stop trying to play victim. You initiated this. You just don't like the reaction that you got behind that. Whose fault is that? You don't get to choose the reactions that you get behind people once you cause a problem. Like, is you crazy? And I believe people really think that way. Like, you think that you can create a problem, then can control the reactions of that problem too? Nah, y'all got me fucked up. You hear me? Y'all got life fucked up, the world fucked up, yourself fucked up. Yeah, all right. Damn, that's some controlling ass shit. Damn, that's the way some of y'all think. You want to control the reactions of someone else when you cause the problem. Woo, that's deep. That's deep. I know y'all gonna feel me. Y'all gonna feel me on this. Those who watch this the back, yeah, y'all gonna feel me on that one. Y'all gonna feel me on that one. That's deep. That's deep. Damn. And I hate to say it, y'all. I hate to say it, but I have to. If I'm gonna be totally honest, a lot of these situations occur with our goddesses. You know, because a lot of goddesses don't like to accept accountability for their actions. So they will cause these problems. And then once you put energy into that, and then you become the problem. Like, God damn, that's crazy. Motherfucking, the victim become the problem and the problem becomes the victim. Whoa. Whoa. The victim becomes the problem, then the problem becomes the victim. Don't let that go over y'all heads. That's deep. That's deep, y'all. But this is truth, beyond truth, you know? And I can't point the fingers at anyone else when it comes to any so-called other races outside of my own when it comes to these problems, because it's us. We need to change that weak nigga mindset in order for us to win. Point blank, period. You know? Too much judging going on out here. There's too many motherfuckers wanting to be head honcho. Know your role and play your part. A lot of y'all don't even have a role. Well, you have one, you just don't understand it yet, because you too busy trying to play other people roles. Don't let that go over your heads. Fuck is you talking about? You can't figure out your role because you're too busy trying to play everyone else's role out this bitch. Hmm. Walking in everybody else's shoes. You can't fit them. I told y'all this months, years ago. Stop putting your big ass feet, your stinky ass feet, in somebody else's shoes, man. That's not your journey. That's not your path. Figure it out. That's why it's not working for you, my brother. That's why. Fuck is you talking about? All right. That's the reaction you're getting from your actions. I want to follow someone else. What? Hmm? That's the reactions that you're getting from your actions of wanting to follow someone else. And a lot of people, it don't even be them. They'll steal somebody whole everything, like their whole style, their whole everything, how they come up with. Like y'all will really sit back and study people, and then try to present that on your own platforms as if that's something that you created. Like that shit crazy. Hmm. Hey, that's why I say all the time. I'm glad a lot of my shit is documented and dated. You know, that's one thing I do love about these social media platforms. Even though they keep their own documents of everything we do, that's cool. Y'all run this shit. I ain't mad at you. I get to keep my own documents as well. You know what I'm saying? So when it do be those type of situations where even though I've ran into them, just haven't spoken on them. I promise y'all, I've ran into many situations where it's people that I know, and they be presenting certain shit. I'd be like, yeah, bro, definitely was listening to some of my shit. Uh, and I ain't talk about none of my brothers that I'm locked in with on the Instagram and that shit, none of the guys. I'm speaking like dudes that got their platforms on YouTube and shit. I'm talking about big ones. You know, I know for a fact, because these are people that I, tuned in with at one point in time. I already know how you coming. I already know the angles that they taking and everything, not me really studying someone, but I'm just somebody that knows a person. Once I get to, connecting with these people or listening to these people, and then I can see through the bullshit. If you speaking it, but I know you ain't really walking that, I'll see through that. But I'm a very big observer, and I just be knowing people. I'll be knowing people for who they are. That's one of my I guess psychic abilities or whatever the case may be, you know. But I'm a healer as well. I do know that. So, by me having those gifts, it helps me out a lot in life because, y'all hear me speak about the fact that everything is a choice. So it's like if what type of people you dealing with, or if what can happen in these environments that you choose to go into, or whatever the case may be. It's like if you know it, it becomes a choice whether you want to entertain that or not. So I've been making the right choices in life. you know, I've been making the right choices in life. I'm choosing not to entertain a lot of shit that's not for me. You know, because if you entertain it, you become it. Don't let that go over y'all heads. If you entertained it, you become it. There's a reaction to a reaction. There is no right or wrong. Not in my world. Ain't no such thing. Now, especially if we speak as far as the program world, and what they were delivering out here and with their teachings, nah. There's no such thing or as good or bad. We all know what one shouldn't do and what one should do. You know, that's just what it is. If you somebody who's aboriginal of this land, you know exactly what we should or should not do. So ain't no good or bad in my world. If it's situations where it got to be that, it's gonna be that. Point blank, period. And we right back to regularly scheduled programming. You know what I'm saying? Which is our programming, my programming. I disconnected myself from that programming and created my own. You hear me? Hmm? And if I gotta use that to make mine work, don't let that go over your head. Hmm? You know, love is love, though, and I do love every last one of y'all wholeheartedly. You know, when I say it, I mean it. I don't just throw those words around because it's nice, a nice thing to say. You know, I really love my people, and I know that a lot of my people never experienced the love that I'm giving. You know, as a big brother, as an uncle, as a father, as a a boyfriend, a man, whoever, a son, brother, whatever labels, cousin. People never received that before. A lot of people think that they experience love, but they never experienced love. They experienced what they thought was love, and that was based off the households that they were raised in. But we can break that down on another show, because I can get deep into that as well. But you gotta watch your words, man. Our words are very powerful. Watch your actions as well. To every in control of the reactions. Please listen to what I just said. You are not in control of the reactions. So whatever you do, you have to accept whatever come behind that. It doesn't matter if you know that person or not, if you think you know that person or not. You don't know what can trigger someone and give them a different type of energy based off of whatever it is done. So you have to accept that for what it is. Point period. You know? Especially when it comes to us real, gods and goddesses out here, really giving them the truth and really pushing it with love behind it. You know what I'm saying? Really pushing it with love behind it. Like, motherfuckers ain't out here to be playing. I'm not out here to be playing and dibbling around within that program shit, within the program where I'm not out here playing, man. You know, I do certain shit that I do that ain't got nothing to do with what nobody else did. It's a me thing. You hear me? And I still stand 10 toes behind everything that I push out here. You hear me? That shit don't change nothing, you know? But as far as me interacting with things that go on outside of this door, fuck no. Fuck no. And that's no disrespect to my that's out there entertaining that. That shit just ain't for me. And that's part of everyone's journey. Don't get it twisted. I say anything about the young brothers or the young sisters that's out there doing whatever. That's a part of their journey. That's a part of their experiences. They have to go through these things. Like I just had this conversation with my brother. Last weekend we went to the beach and shit. Sat on the boardwalk, had a nice conversation with one of our nephews and shit. And I was even saying along that conversation, like, bro, you can't really say what's what. Motherfuckers got to experience shit on their own. Like, I cannot sit back and tell grown men, what they should or should not do. You know what I'm saying? I could give my truth towards whatever type of situation is going on, and I do that. My nephews, they know, all of them know. Everything that I just spoke about back then, they got a clear understanding of now. But my nephew that told me and his dad out of his own mouth, like, man, I ain't saying that I didn't listen to y'all. I listened to y'all. It's just I had to experience it on my own, and I had to respect that, bro. As a man, like, you gotta respect some shit like that, because you don't hear too many younger men saying shit like that out their mouth, and it's real, genuine. Like, it don't get no realer than that, you know. But the fact that he accepting things for what it is, I already know some big changes are fitting to be made. That's what I do know. You know, some big changes are fitting to be made. But again, a reaction to every action. And it's about accepting it. first of all, like I said, you don't know what someone's reaction is going to be. You cannot control that, and that be the problem right there. A lot of people want to control the reactions of someone once they do whatever they do or whatever the problem is, and you can't do that. So whatever that reaction is, you gotta like I done seen situations right with women, right, that then got hit by a nigga, right, but they would say like, I'm not gonna lie, I initiated that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like it doesn't matter, man or woman. As a man, if somebody hit you in your face, we don't play that. We're not accepting that. And I don't know. I can say one may black out and forget that it is a woman. It's just the fact that you got punched in your face and your reaction is to punch back. You know, I'm not knocking you, because in most cases, some cases, it is like that. But then you got some niggas that just be on that bitch ass type of shit. I don't respect that at all. I don't condone putting my hands on a woman at all. My God is here right now. I've been with her for 6 years. She would tell you, never, ever balled my fist up and swung on you. And she did it to me back in, our upcomings. But, I didn't return that type of energy. That's not in my blood as a man, as a God. I know what should be done and what shouldn't be done. And that's definitely not it. So it's like I never gave a reaction to those actions, you know. Um, Learn to control it. That's all I can really say when it comes to that. You got to learn to control your mindset. And that's a hard thing to do, especially when you someone that's used to going from 0 to 100 real quick. Shout out to Drake. Fuck you talking about. If you somebody like that, which that's the type of person I was. I was a very, 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 very hot-headed individual, man. I'm trying to tell you, like, I wouldn't accept nothing. You hear me? Like, I'm talking about the littlest shit that somebody would let slide. Like, not me. Fuck is you talking about? We all that, but you know, it took a long time. And it took a lot of healing. You know, within self, me going to self and, disconnecting myself from certain people and disconnecting myself from certain environments and things like that, you know. That's why I say when it comes to being spiritually woke, that shit ain't no joke. It's like being woke is a joke to the outside world. They look at a lot of us as some goofies, and I'm not even mad at them for looking at it that way, because it is a lot of goofy ass motherfuckers that's presenting themselves as gods and goddesses and speaking about them being spiritually woke and this, that, and the other and shit. But uh, I'm not one to judge, so I'm not here to go in on those type of individuals. I just know how we coming, you know. I just know how we coming, and that's just that. But Uh, I'm not one to judge. Like I said, man, I'll be wanting to say certain shit, but it's like, man, you know. Like I told my brothers on the live the other day, right? I say, man, look, I've been told, that I was a leader to certain people, and I've had a lot of people that just, followed behind me as if I was that person, and what I would do, I would fall back, and now it's like people are telling me like, shout out to my brother Peter, man. I do got bro name because it's written on the paper. I swear I'm not lying, y'all. I had to write my bro's names on the paper just so I can remember it and shit. And I still can't even pronounce bro shit. My other brother and shit, he know AB. We gonna call AB, yeah. My brother AB and shit. But that goes to show that I'm not lying to y'all about the not remembering names. It's hard. I had to add my brother's names on the paper and shit. But bro was on the live and shit, man. And we got into some deep topics and shit, bro. Now everybody has an understanding of how everybody coming, Definitely go follow my brothers on Instagram and shit. Uh, and the movies that they pushing out here, because, like I was telling them the other day, like, man, I watch y'all grow, I really watch their growth. as far as on the social media, on in and outside the streets. Well, Peter, man, I've been seeing the work you've been doing, outside of social media as well. And I'm pretty sure my brother AB was doing the same thing. Some people just choose not to show certain shit like me. I'm not gonna lie. I've never showed a lot of things that I'm doing outside of social media. Like, it's a lot of powerful work that I've done outside of social media in the physical with these young brothers. I'm talking about from the age of 10 on up to grown ass men that's older than me. You know what I'm saying? And women. Like, I'm really out here delivering these truths in the physical. This just ain't no social media shit with me. We just don't put that work out there. You gotta know how to play the game. Don't let the game play you. Okay. But like I was saying though, y'all, as far as the reactions to every action, you cannot control the reactions of someone else, okay? Especially to my goddesses, my ladies, I love y'all. But y'all know, like, y'all really be thinking y'all have straight control of all of that. Like, I punch this nigga, he ain't gonna do shit type shit. You feel me? Like, y'all really be having that type of mindset. And I get it. I'm not mad at y'all, but we gotta learn how to control the balance in between both sides. That's the problem. That's the only issue we're having as the people, right? Controlling that balance in between both sides, the dark and the light. You have to know who deserves that energy and who doesn't. Point blank, period. You know? That's why you may get those reactions from those actions. But stop putting labels on people from those reactions when you cause that reaction. What? You can't put a label on someone when you caused that reaction. Man, y'all know how much King says peace and love, my brother. You know the vibes. You know how much shit I accepted because I understood that I caused that. Like, I can't get mad about something that I caused, no matter what that reaction may be. I'm not in control of the reaction of someone else. I'm only control of my own, or in control of my own. Y'all get this? But like I said, it's my goddesses, my sisters. I love y'all to death. It's a lot of y'all that really think that way. Like, y'all in full control of the situation as a whole. Like, your actions and the reactions from your actions. Y'all feel like y'all in full control of that. And that's not the case. That's why situations be the way that they are. These domestic violence situations, like, y'all really got to think out. Like, I think all around the board when it comes to everything. I'm not a nigga that just jump on the bandwagon and sit back agreeing with everything like everybody else because it sounds good or they made it look good. Hell no. I'm looking all around the board. That nigga punched her in the fucking mouth. What made that nigga punch her in the fucking mouth? It had to have been something. A nigga didn't just get up and say, I want to punch a bitch in her mouth. Hey. Huh? It was a reaction from an action. But they don't speak on that action. They only speak on the reaction. They never question why. They never question why, bro. They'll just throw a label on you. Straight up. Somebody throw something out there about you, bro. Oh, such and such. What? Yeah, man. Boom, boom. Hear this. Hear that. They ain't even talk to such and such. They ain't get that side. They don't even know why such and such did what such and such did. They just gonna throw a label on you based off of what such and such said. That's crazy. That's crazy, brother. And I've been in a situation where people done cut me off because of what someone else felt about me. That's crazy. Like, how you gonna judge someone off of someone else's feelings? Like, what? What type of person are you? I will never do no shit like that. Y'all know how many people I'm in connection with or was in connection with, the other people that I'm in connection with did not like and they already knew where I stood with that shit. Like, ain't no coming to me trying to get me to, switch sides or take sides. Ain't none of that shit going on with me, bro. I love you and I love him. So it is what it is, man. Whatever y'all situation is, we can try to fix that. If not, cool. Go about your ways. You don't gotta continue to deliver energy to no situation. You can straight just cut a person off and say, I'm gonna go my way, you go your way. I don't rock with you, you don't rock with me, but there ain't no beef. Ain't got to be no Damon time or no guns being drawn or no punches being sprayed. Whenever a nigga see a nigga, you just don't rock with a nigga. That nigga don't rock with you. Point blank, period. That's just what it could be. Simple. It don't have to be nothing else behind that. That's that weak nigga mindset that we choose to carry that causes those problems. There's a reaction from every action. What? I'm only speaking based off of experiences, y'all, as I always do. Like, y'all can go AHC. I promise you, on everything I love, bro. You can go back and watch this once I end it, right? I tell people all the time, especially to my brothers and my sisters that got platforms. And if y'all never heard me say this, y'all gonna hear me say this now. When y'all get on y'all platforms and y'all speak, I don't give a fuck if it's Instagram, YouTube, Skype, when you speak as if 1 million people are. I don't give a fuck if it's 0 people in the box. Speak as if it's 1 million fucking people listening to you, and watch the results you receive from that. My messages get sent through to the universe. They're going to hit who is meant to hit. I promise y'all, whether they're here or not, my voice is powerful. So is yours. So is yours. Love is love, man. I mean, you ain't got to listen. I can't hit y'all with the Dane Calloway. I'm just here to make you think. But my slogan is I'm just here to make it make sense to those who have some. Because you can't make it make sense to those who have none. Some people don't even have common sense. Sage, I thought everybody had common sense, bro. Everyone. I thought you was born with common sense. Like, what? What? Some people ain't got common sense out here no more, bro. What's going on? What the fuck is going on, bro? And that's how you know. Like, a motherfucker ain't got to speak about who's a chosen one and who's not, bro. You know you're a chosen one when you start really looking at life for what it is, people for who they are. You start really thinking like, damn, so I wasn't tripping all this time. Because you would think there's something wrong with you, bro. You like, for a long time, trust me, a motherfucker would think something was wrong. I thought something was wrong with me from the way that I was thinking, but then I started really seeing it. And I'm like, okay, I'm really not tripping. This shit is really going on like this. You hear me, bro? Like, that's why I said, bro, learning life by experiencing. Bro, you cannot learn shit unless you experience this shit, bro. I am learning life by living it. The experiences that I'm getting out of this shit, I'm learning from those experiences, bro. And that's why I'm able to speak the way that I speak. I'm not bigger. I'm not better than anyone. I am you and you are me. I'm just a better version of self. I will continue to say this, to my brothers and my sisters. I love every last one of y'all wholeheartedly, But what I just said about when y'all get on y'all platforms, I mean that. Use your voice. Speak as if 1 million people is watching you. 1 million people are watching you. Whether you know it or not. 1 million people are watching you. So speak that way. Deliver your truth. Control the platforms. I control this shit. You hear me? Like, I don't give a fuck about, man, like, unless the comments are genuine, that's the only time I'm gonna respond. If it's comments going on down here and it's some negative shit, I promise you I would not see it. I would see it, but not see it. Like, it's all about the mindset. What you choose to think of it. Create your own reality. What? What? Yeah, all right. Reach that point in life where you can take full control of shit like that. You know? It can be what it is, but not be what it is. It's all about what you think of it. You hear me? Huh? It makes sense to me because I be doing it. I be doing it. That's why I'm able to move and conduct myself the way that I do. You know, I don't give the same reactions to actions anymore. You know, I I I I give something different. You know, I'll say, you know, if I've been giving that type of energy for so long, and it always go this way, right? You know, so obviously that's not working for me. So what if I gave something different? Some different type of energy towards that instead of the same energy that I've been giving all my life, right? Never worked, same situation, right? I changed it, and it changed. Point blank, period. I promise you, I put it on everything I love. I changed my reactions towards those actions, and everything changed. You know, it's not a situation unless you make it one. You know, a lot of things can be avoided for surely, you know, if you choose to take that route. But some of us, we choose to take the other route, which I'm not mad about at all. Some people feel like they got to take it there. You know, I'm not one to just feel like I got to take it all the way there when it comes to certain situations, especially when it's with other men. You know, and when we say we're building as brothers, you know, as the collective, like minded, a unit, you know, the community. When we say this, we can't just say this and then be on the internet going at our brothers or disrespecting our brothers. Bitch this, bitch that, Damon time this, Damon time that, send me your addies and all that weird ass shit. So we can't speak that way and then choose to act that way. That don't make sense. So when you got these young brothers, right, and these young sisters that's out here still in the streets and they still trying to figure things out, when they get on the internet and they see niggas doing shit like that, what the fuck do they got to look up to? What do they have to look up to? You got Unc and Grandpa out this bitch on the internet arguing with niggas. Unc and Grandpa. Fuck you talking about? Daddy locked up or dead, you know, no disrespect to nobody, but that's the case for most cases. You hear me? So what we talking about? So you got Unc, Grandpa, and everybody else, you know, on the internet acting like fools. What do they have to look up? What do they have to look up to? And then y'all point fingers and wonder why their actions are the way that they are. No guidance. They have no guidance. But yet y'all be quick to say these kids ain't got no guide. Bitch, you ain't got them. Fuck you talking about. Your voice matters too. It don't even matter if you know these individuals personally. I speak to all kids. All kids love me. All my brothers that know me. You know, when they kids were ever around me, it was all love. I never got no fucked up energy from no kid ever in my life. Soon as they meet me, they would treat me like they've known me all day life, which we've probably known each other in another life. Let's talk about it. You know? But that's the type of energy I get. You know, bugs, insects, animals, you know, dogs that may bark and growl at other people won't do it to me. You know what I'm saying? That type of energy. That's when you know who you are, you know? But there's a reaction to every action, y'all. You cannot get mad about the reaction of someone else, nor can you control the reactions of someone else. You hear me? Change your mindset towards a lot of things, a lot of people, you know. Change your energy towards certain situations, certain people, you know. Don't give that same energy that you've been given for so long. Change it up. Give something outside of that, and you change everything. I guarantee you, y'all are going to get a different result if you change your energy. I promise y'all that, you know. And that's one gem I'm going to really leave with y'all right there. Change your energy towards situations and people, and you change everything. Your thoughts. Even if you're in a fucked up situation, don't look at it as if you're in a fucked up situation. Look at it as if you're in the best situation you ever been in your life. You know? Think outside of what it is, and it becomes something different. Love is love, man. But this was I Can't Make This Shit Up podcast with myself, Big Chief, not the little one, G the Starflower, melanated God of love. I am here to break chains. I am here to break cycles, and that I shall do. Shout out to my goddess, Aquarius goddess. Shout out to my 3 young starseeds. Shout out to my sister, Crazy Tree Lady. Shout out to the tribe. Big MRMWW tribe. Shout out to my brother Larry Stacks, my brother Ant, and all the other bros, the sisters. Y'all know the vibes, man. Shout out to my brother King Sage for pulling up and showing love, and whoever else popped up, I appreciate y'all. Whoever's looking at it right now, I appreciate you. I love you. You hear me? And y'all don't gotta listen to me. You know, I just want y'all to take heed into some of my words. You know, especially if it makes sense. Apply that shit to what you already know and keep it moving. Continue to grow. I'm just here to water those flowers. You hear me? I'm just here to water those. I'm the gardener. I'm the gardener. You hear me? Love is love, man. Y'all know the vibes, man.
It's a whole lot of talking. Fuck is they talking about though? You're big MRMWRW Mafia.
Dark side.
Come
light
vibe
this
with the
bitch up.
tribe. Kirby, what up though? I'm breaking it down, ground. I'm working my way up. You a way stuck, get your weight up. You're looking for pay, cuz I want all of my people to wake up. Sleep, Frank Ocean, dig, peak. This not a method of the week. Fools, choose. I mean.
Hold up, my bad, y'all. God, it was a verse that I did right over what about so-called raps. Y'all know I'm not a rapper, but I said, there's a reaction from every action. If there's no actions behind those actions, niggas chatting. Call me when it's happening. I be in that pitch and cool playing mad and fuck he talking about. I'm the one they talk about. I am way too cool to be chasing clout. That's a holy fad. Put that on my soul and back. I will snatch your soul from the hole and back. That's a kill switch. Fuck the ones you chill with. Y'all can all hold hands, they don't feel this. God will welcome them, pull a little off of them. Have they whole hood scream, sing and shout for them. Pass that liquor out, I'm a whole different kind. You can control what flows through a nigga mind. I can control them holes through a nigga's spine. Best to be cool, no rules when the stepping time. Nigga, I'm repping mine, baby, we can take it there. Criminal rule, but smoother than baby's hair. Don't get confused, I do this without a care. I mean, I do as soon as I wake and stare. Ready to take it there, gangsta coming out these veins. With a whole lot of anger behind his name. With a whole lot of... You could all become... Man, what? Love is love, man. We out.
I break up the rules, fools, choose. ACM, I'm busting the moves. I woke up like this, blessed. Everything else just a test. Stress was created for thinking the less. I'm with the gods, yes.